If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have James Krause back on the show. He picked up his 6th straight win over the weekend in Sao Paulo, Brazil. 3rd-round finish win over Sergio Moraes. How are you, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Really strong performance. Seemed like you were a step ahead of him throughout the entire fight. You put the stamp on it with the big finish in the 3rd round. I know fighters are the most self-critical people on planet Earth, but with that being said, how would you rate your overall performance?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, obviously there's always things that you can do better and you can fix, but I mean, I feel like for the most part, everything that I thought would happen would happen. I went in there to dominate the rounds. I didn't really dominate round 1. I won on all judges' scorecards. I won the first, but I feel like I dominated 2. I dominated 3, and then I finished the fight. I picked up a bonus. I mean, I really can't. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. What am I gonna say? Like, am I gonna complain about? You know, like I won. I finished. I got a bonus. There's not much I can complain about, man.
There you go. It's refreshing to hear that, because normally, no matter what happens when I talk to a fighter, it's like, yeah, it was great, but like, and then they find 15 things they did wrong. I'm sure you find a couple of things.
There's always things I can do better, right? Like, it's a fight, man. It's a disagreement. So it's not like there's things he's trying to do to me too. So, you know, it's not like I have control over the whole thing, but I feel like for the most part, I did everything that I wanted to do. And like I said, anytime that you get a win in the UFC, you got to finish in the UFC, and you pick up a bonus, man, there's not much else I can say.
I would agree with that. The fight probably started the way you expected it to with the early takedown, but you got back up, and as soon as you got back up, at least in my eyes, it seemed to change the entire momentum of the fight. Like, you got back to your feet, you could see he was tired, and it was all you the rest of the way. Did anything else surprise you at all?
No. It really went to a T exactly how I thought it would. I didn't anticipate him to shoot 3 seconds into the fight, but whatever, you know, that would be one of the things that I would like to fix, is that was just a mental lapse on my part. I thought he would try to set it up a little bit better. I thought he'd try to put me on the fence, but, you know, whatever. I did a good job getting back up, being patient, and got back up. And I feel like a couple of things happened. Like, number one, I feel like his will just kind of broke, because I think like that was his like hurrah. You know what I mean? Like, if I get this kid down in the first, I can finish him. And when I got back up, I started talking shit to him. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that helped his cause. And then as soon as I got up, I landed 3 calf kicks right in a row that were all really hard. I think that has kind of set the tone for the rest of the fight for him. So I think I kind of just broke his will a little bit.
What did you say to him?
I don't even remember. Probably bad things that I probably shouldn't say in front of my daughter over here.
Touche. Understandable. I'm always curious about this, and I don't think we've talked post-fight in quite some time, but you're 6-0 under Marc Montoya right now, and obviously he's a high-level coach. You're a high-level coach as well, and I'm always curious to see what those conversations are like after the fight. You know, you got 2 analytical minds. You're playing the pupil role, but, you know, you still have the heart of a coach as well. What was the conversation like with Marc after the fight?
Look, man, one thing that Marc and I have gotten really good at is we're both so freaking results-driven. Whenever I fought Shane Campbell, I don't know if you watched that fight or not, I pretty much dominated 13 and a half minutes of the fight. In the last 90 seconds, I got tie tripped, and I landed in mount, and he didn't try to advance or anything. He just held me in mount, and I couldn't do anything. I had to have space to move, and he just squeezed me as hard as he could in mount for 90 seconds. And the last 10 seconds, just tried to ground and pound. It didn't hurt me or anything like that. In my post-fight interview, I was pretty much being a crybaby bitch the whole time. And he really reamed me for that. Like, we work so hard and we dedicate so much of our life to the sport. Like, you have to enjoy the wins. Anytime you pick up a win at the high level, you know, you have to appreciate that. So one thing that I've gotten a lot better at is appreciating the victory. And there's always things that we can do better and we can go back and fix, obviously. But man, we're happy with it. You know, it went exactly how we thought it would. We were both really happy with it, honestly. And like, you know, like I said, we talked about it in just in terms of like, hey, we thought this would happen. Hey, you know, we said this would happen, and it all happened. You know what I mean? Like, we everything that we thought would come out in the fight did.
How did you enjoy your trip to Brazil overall? Probably more so now that you didn't have to deal with the old tax laws or anything like that. But how did you enjoy it overall?
I mean, it was great, man. It's a fight culture. The people were really nice. It wasn't even really that hostile. Like, it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. Fight week was great. The food is amazing. The weather was beautiful. I can't complain, man. I'm really happy with it.
By the way, thank you for sharing your toe stitches on Instagram. Like, first of all, what is wrong with you? Good Lord. And by the way, that looked so painful. And as someone who's had a poisonous blister removed from his toe as a child, that brought back some painful memories.
Yeah.
Did you feel that rip from the cage, like during the fight, like right when it happened?
Yeah, I did. It hurt. Yeah, but like you kind of prioritize that stuff. It's not really a big deal. Like I can walk fine. It hurt a little bit, but the adrenaline's pumping. So I remember looking down in between the first and second round and seeing a puddle of blood on the cage, like where my foot was. I was like, oh, that's not very good. I'm gonna have to deal with that later. So I wasn't sure what it was. And then when they go back to the medical room, there's like a big puddle of blood my foot's in. I'm like, oh man, why is this bleeding? So it's a big rip in my toe.
Why is the toe such a fear of yours, such a terrifying thing? What's that all about?
What's the story there? Everybody's scared of getting their toes caught in the cage, right? Like it's just kind of I know I'm not the only one, but yeah, it's been a fear of mine of getting my toes caught in there, and sure as hell enough, it came true.
So you're back home now. I assume the full-time fighter hat gets put on the rack. Full-time husband, full-time dad, full-time coach hat comes on now. I know Grant Dawson has a fight coming up. Sure, a few others do as well. Right back at it, or taking a couple days to smell the roses a little bit?
Right back at it, baby. We don't no time off. I went to the gym before I went home.
Did you really? Got off the plane and went to the gym?
That was the first place I went to.
Unbelievable. When we talked about this the last time you were here, you don't need to be a 3 to 4 fight a year kind of a guy at this point. It's fair to assume that we're focusing on the holidays, focusing on your team, focusing on your family. We're not thinking about our next fight right now. Or are the wheels actually turning in that aspect? No. Holidays, spend time with my family. That's way more important to me right now than any fight. I'm hurt, man. My hand is swollen. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's. Oh, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm just beat up, man. Like, you fight for 15 minutes, no matter how well you look or whatever, you're going to come out of that beat up. So, I'm just spending time with the family, recouping and helping other people get ready for fights.
How's Dawson looking right now? I know he's itching to get back in there at this point. He had a great debut performance. I know he's a guy who likes to stay active and get back in there. It's been a few months since he's had the chance, but now he's got a fight booked. How's he feeling right now?
He's a killer, man. He always stays ready. I think this is going to be his coming out party. He's fighting a little bit more of a higher profile fighter. He's got a lot more experience. I really think he's just going to keep showing people how good he is. The kid is just a monster, man. I think this is going to be a really good fight for him. I think he's going to have a great performance.
I'm excited for that as well. James, I want to thank you for giving us a few minutes. I know you got to take off. I appreciate the time very much. Before we go, man, let the folks know where to find and follow you on the web, social media, shout-outs, all that good stuff, man.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, D. James Krause.
Just that simple. Enjoy your holidays, man. Enjoy the turkey on Thanksgiving and, spend some time with the family. Enjoy the win, man. Thank you for the time.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.